Take your pair of sock. Take your drawer. Take that your sweatpants and go. Actually, let me do like Pastor Cal. If we've gotten this far in the video and you've not subscribed, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Debbie O, and you're tuned in to the Debbie O Show. We're back again, y'all. Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 12. So today, y'all, I was just like, I am so fed up with these people, so fed up to the point where I didn't even bother to come to y'all correct. I'm here in my workout clothes. I'm about to go for a run, and I was like, you know what? Let me make this video because it's going to be snippety snappity, because this episode was snippety snappity, very boring, was not worth 2 hours. Oh, and by the way, please ignore this like thing right here. I got bands for my braces.
Bands to make good day. Bands to make good day.
First couple I'm going to talk about is Michael and Mika. Michael is seen first on the camera. He's cutting a little like pot of grass in his home, like. And I'm just like Mika at this point. I'm like, what are you doing? He says he has a quirky sense of humor that people tend to misunderstand, and I can see why, because I have a quirky sense of humor myself, but that is just, you're being a little odd, a little off beats. So they meet with Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana respectively, and basically Mika's just like, look, I can see us moving forward. It's just like the lying has to stop. That is really turning me off. And, you know, she's, you know, kind of riled up while she's talking to Dr. Viviana. Dr. Viviana's like, is this how you typically are with Michael? And finally, somebody can accurately explain to Mika what it is that Michael needs from her. Because Michael's talking about, I need you to be open up. I need you to be vulnerable. I need you to, and it's like, no, you want her to soften up. You want her to like calm down, relax. Yeah, maybe put her guard down a little bit, but you want her to soften up. And he cannot articulate that. So Dr. Viviana is able to articulate that. And she understood that. It wasn't like it was a concept that was lost to her. She was like, okay, I see what she's saying. She thinks that I should be a soft place for him to land. And that's something that I can understand. That's something that I can certainly work on. And I didn't see Mika as somebody who was completely like irrational and somebody who you could not get through to. I think it's just the fact that Michael did not know how to properly explain what it is that he's looking for. Then we flip over to Pastor Cal talking to Michael, and they basically go through again the whole lying thing, blah, blah, blah. And Pastor Cal asked Michael, like, are you sure you're the only one who's being vulnerable and open? And like, are you telling me the truth right now? And he's like, yes. Even his yes was like, you don't even believe what you're saying right now. So Pastor Cal explained to him, like, look, you want Mika to open up, you want her to do all that, that's all well and good, but you have to understand that you have breached a level of trust with her, and you need to do 10 times more to show up every day as truthful and honest as possible, so that all those other things will become, you know, washed out by your, you know, newfound truth. And I agree. I'm totally here for that. I mean, there wasn't really much more about that with them and the experts. Then they finally meet face to face and they're talking. And at one point, it almost looked like they were going to start arguing, because Mika's like, I did talk to you about this before. And Michael's kind of it looked like Michael was starting to get a little bit defensive, but they settled it and they agreed that they can work forward. They both agreed to stay committed to the relationship. But I feel like they're not committed to each other, like they're not into each other, but they're committed to the concept of being married. And that to me is not enough. It is not enough to keep a happy, constructive, productive, healthy marriage together and alive. It's not. So we'll see what happens with them in the long run. But as for right now, I just don't see them having that type of connection that will even progress into something better. I don't. Next, Katie and Derek. Katie, again, irritating. She's sitting here talking about, I need you to consider changing. Don't get defensive, but I need you to consider changing for me. And I think Katie's very selfish. Katie is very, very selfish. In one past episode, we saw Derek ask Katie, oh, so like, what are your dreams and aspirations besides having kids and being married? And she's like, that's really it. And Derek's kind of like, well, I want to go skydiving. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he has so many dreams and so many, you know, goals on his bucket list, so to speak. And Katie's just like, I'm good just being a wife and a mom and living a happy life with my happy kids and my happy husband and my happy family. That's her dream. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but to expect that your partner should like, I don't want to say dumb it down, but to expect your partner to like bring it down and cut out all these other things that he has wanted before he met you, mind you. Like, these are all things that he has wanted before he met you. So now that he's met you, he needs to scrap all of that? No, I don't agree. I think Katie's being very irrational, very selfish. And I think that's because she doesn't feel very solid in this relationship. She's looking at every possible way that Derek could leave her, or Derek could, kind of abandon her. She's looking for every possible way that could happen. And though it has yet to happen, she's kind of trying to beat it before it gets to her by addressing it before there's even a problem. But in doing that, you're kind of sabotaging the relationship because there is no problem, but you're creating a problem. And Derek even acknowledged it. He said, I feel like Katie at this point is looking for reasons to cause issues. I feel like she's looking for that, and she absolutely is, because this is not an issue. The man doesn't have any outlandish dreams and aspirations that's going to cause him to be like, yeah, peace out to you, I'm going to go over here and do this. He didn't say he's quitting his job to go, mountain hiking or whatever it is he wanted to do. He didn't say that he's going to have to, take a sabbatical from work in order to write this book. I think that he's very well aware that some of the things that he dreams and hopes and aspires to do might not happen. And he even said, will I accomplish everything? Maybe not. But it doesn't hurt to try? No. And that is exactly what Katie is just failing to or refusing to acknowledge. So she ends up running off crying and I want you to want me, and I want you to... And I just was like, oh my gosh, like, Katie thinks she's so mature and she is so far ahead of Derek when it comes to being in a relationship. But I think that she's very immature and she's very unaware. Like, she has very little self-awareness compared to, or Katie's amount of self-awareness is much less than what she thinks it is. She seems to think that she is extremely self-aware. She's extremely mature. She's super prepared for all the things that are required of one to be in a marriage and a mother and all of those things. But in reality, each and every episode, she is showing to us and her husband that she is in fact not. She is also immature. She is also not very, well prepared and ready for this commitment, because all her fears are surfacing, all the worries, all the things that, she might have thought about prior to even getting married that pushed her to getting married in this way. All of those things are surfacing. And Derek ends up having to sleep on the couch. And he's just like, look, I do want you, Katie. I want you and your dreams. But honestly, Katie doesn't have much things to, look forward to. And I think I think it's very unfortunate that Katie does not see some of Derek's desires, aspirations, goals as things that she wants to participate in as well. Why don't you ask if you can be included in some of those things so that you don't feel abandoned or left out, or like he's prioritizing one over another? I don't see why you can't go hiking together. I don't see why you can't, inspire some of the things that he puts in his book. Why can't you be a part of his Christmas song? Like, I think that she's looking at, he has these dreams, he has these goals, and then there's me, and we're at odds with one another. And there's no way that he can possibly mesh the two and combine everything and have us all be happy and satisfied. They meet with the experts. They express their concerns with one another. Honestly, I don't see their concerns being anything crazy. And so they discussed the argument or the disagreement that they had with Dr. Cal and Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana. They discussed the issues with Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana respectively. And again, they don't have any real major issues besides the fact that Katie needs to just chill on the whole, well, he doesn't seem to be committed to me. He seems to be putting everything else above me and da-da-da-da-da. Chill. This man puts you on his health insurance. And he even told Pastor Cal, like, I'm in this. I'm committed to this. I put her on my health insurance, son. I'm in this. I'm with it. And Pastor Cal's like, well, yeah, that's definitely a high level of commitment. Well, you think? And, I just think that Katie's being absolutely ridiculous. She needs to chill before she pushes this good man away. Next, I'll talk about Brandon and Taylor. Brandon and Taylor, I was so irritated with both Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana in these scenes. Pastor Cal spoke with Brandon and basically asked, what will it take for you to kind of push past this hurt and get to a better place with Taylor? What would it take for you guys to be able to reconcile? And ultimately, Brandon gave a list. He said, I need her to prioritize being a wife. And Pastor Cal, what does a wife look like? He listed his things. I need her to stop going out to the club with her girlfriends and acting like she's not married. Stop, doing things to intentionally hurt me. He lists things that I think are actually, they shouldn't even have to be listed, because those are things that should just be natural to someone who is claiming to love you or wants to try to grow in love with you. But that's not Taylor. I don't think Taylor wants to grow in love with him at this point. I think that she seems to want to stick it out for the sake of being on the show, for the sake of continuing with taping, and have it be like an amicable, calm, healthy situation. But I don't think that she's trying to stay married to him truly. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Taylor sits down with Dr. Viviana. Far be it for me to be a judge of somebody's hair, looks, outfits, whatever, because I am no queen or guru or anything like that. Not even close. However, Taylor, you have friends. I know you have friends. We've seen them. You have friends. You're in the DMV area. There are plenty of African American owned, run businesses, to include hair salons, who would gladly, happily help you, because the situation that's happening all over here, I was so sad. I was so sad for her, because I was like, your friends are not truly your friends, because how can they allow you to be on national television looking like this? And she even looked just drained. She just looked so tired. And I said, hey, that even your hair is tired. You are tired. It's just a mess. It looked a mess. And she's a very beautiful girl. So it's not like she can't possibly, spruce a few things up to look presentable. But I'm just going to stop right there. Anyway, so Taylor talks to Dr. Viviana, and Dr. Viviana is basically trying to convince her to push past, her wrongs, apologize for her wrongs, and move forward towards building or rebuilding her relationship with Brandon. And it's like the experts are trying so hard to push these two individuals together. It was so much like convincing that it took for Taylor and Brandon to both agree that, yes, I'm still committed. It's almost like both Brandon and Taylor walked into their individual meetings with the experts with the mindset that, yeah, I'm done, I'm good, whatever. And then slowly the experts both did the little twisting and turning and prodding to try to get them to change their mind, and it worked. Both Brandon and Taylor agreed that they're both willing and ready to stay committed to the relationship and move forward past everything that has happened. It is one thing to say those things, and it's another thing to act those things out and live them out day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. And I do not believe that either one of them have it in them. I don't believe that either one of them are truly going to take it upon themselves to do the work. I don't see it. We already saw that Brandon does not take initiative when he does not feel the love and he does not feel, that his wife is being receptive to him. We already saw that he retreats in those types of situations. So to think that Brandon is now this newly changed person, that if Taylor does, for whatever reason in the future, get into a mood, that Brandon is going to be the one to, approach her and try to reconcile differences, no. I don't believe it. And because of the fact that this history is what it is, and that they have, the issues that they've had in the past, I don't see either one of them being like, I'm completely erasing all of that. We're on a new blank slate. Let's move forward together. I don't believe it. So why they decided to stay committed, is beyond me. So they finally sit down together, Brandon and Taylor, and they told each other what, they talked about in their respective sessions with the experts. They both agreed, yes, we're gonna stay committed. They end up hugging it out at the end. And again, I don't buy it. Do not buy it. Nope. Next, Jessica and Austin. Jessica meets with Dr. Viviana. Austin meets with Pastor Cal. And they both are doing very well, to the point where the experts had to kind of flip the question and say, well, what would it take for you to say no? What could possibly happen from now until decision day that could make you say no to staying committed with one another? And essentially, Austin said, I really trust her, but I feel like a breach in trust would cause me to say no. And for Jessica, Jessica's concerns are the fact that she is feeling like she is in love with her husband, but he has yet to say it, so she's very hesitant to say it. Dr. Viviana told her to just say it. I do not think that she should just say it, because it doesn't seem to me that Jessica is prepared for whatever may or may not come from her saying, I love you. I think that if it were to be a situation kind of like what I described in my last review, where Deanna and Greg both shared that Deanna just said, I love you to Greg, and it just came out, and it wasn't like a calculated moment where she's like, okay, I'm gonna say I love you to him, and he better say it back. It didn't seem to me that that was the thought process behind Deanna and Greg's I love you situation. And it did come later on from Greg to Deanna, that he truly loved her as well. I don't see that being the case here with Jessica and Austin. I think that Jessica, if she were to say I love you to Austin, she would be saying it with the expectation that he would say it back. And I don't think that that's the right mentality to go into expressing yourself with, your significant other, because you don't know what's going to come of that. And I think that that's the part that Jessica's scared of. She doesn't know what's going to come of it. She wants to be assured in knowing that if I share this thing with him, I'm solid, we're solid, he feels the same way back, he already said it to me. She wants all of that before she can truly open up and be vulnerable in that respect. And I'm not mad at that, but at the same time, I wish she would just let it go and let things flow as they will. So they sit down to talk with one another, and they, both share what they talked about with the experts. Nothing really major, but something I noticed, it's like Jessica was almost gonna say, she told me to tell you how I truly feel, and how I truly feel is that it was right on the tip of her tongue, and you could see Austin's face was kind of like, what? Like, he's kind of like smiling, like, what is it that you need to say? Like, what do you, just say what, come out with it. But she didn't end up saying it, and I think it was for the better, because I think she would have been very disappointed and very sad and very let down if Austin didn't reply with what she wants him to reply with, and I don't think he would have. Because he already said, I'm not going to be pressured into saying it. I'm not going to be cornered into saying it. I'm going to say it when it's truly the right time for me. So that's Jessica and Austin. Zach and Mindy. Zach and Mindy, again, irritating as all get out. Mindy sits with Dr. Viviana, Zach sits with Pastor Cal, and Dr. Viviana basically asked Mindy, so what's up? What's going on? Mindy shares with Dr. Viviana, yes, he has had this. Mindy shares with Dr. Viviana that Zach has developed a friendship with one of her good friends, and it seemed very secretive. And she said that she deleted the text messages and blah, blah, blah. Everything that happened with Lindsay, she explained to Dr. Viviana. Dr. Viviana is like, wow, that's not cool at all. Like, that is trash behavior. She didn't say that, but her face said it. So then later on, we see that she's basically asking Mindy, look, you need to have standards, and you need to set your limitations and boundaries and expectations. So right here, right now, tell me some things that you want to be absolutely non-negotiables. These things must happen in order for me to truly move forward with this man. And Mindy starts off with like these little like baby breadcrumbs talking about, well, I need him first of all to tell me the truth when it comes to his relationship with Lindsay. Okay, like, no, I think, so Mindy first of all is like, well, I need for him to spend time with me outside of filming. And you can tell Dr. Viviana's like, that's That's such a little thing to add. Like, that shouldn't even be asked of him. That should just already be happening. But, Dr. Viviana's, being understanding and listening. She's like, okay, next, what's another thing? Let's amp it up a little bit. So I believe that Mindy's things that she required of Zach were he needed to spend time with her outside of filming. He needed to tell her the truth about, him and Lindsay's relationship. He needed to tell her what it is that he's hiding from her that she supposedly was untruthful about. And all of those things, you can see Dr. Viviana's kind of like, okay, that's cool. Like, let's get more and more and more. And Mindy, it seemed as though Mindy was trying so hard not to have to say he has to move in. Because that was her last thing. And she was like, oh, yeah, he has to move in. Girl, that should have been the first thing that came out of your mouth. Like, this man has to move in with me. Point blank, period. But I think that Mindy is so sad. But I don't feel bad anymore because it's very clear, it's very evident at this point that Mindy is trying not to shake it up too much. She's trying not to rock the boat too much because she does not want any possible reason for Zach to be able to say, see, this is why I'm not doing this. And that's because you did this. That's why I'm not staying committed to you. She wants to do very, very little to disrupt whatever is going on so that he has no reason to be able to point a finger at her and say, well, you're the reason why this can't move forward. Because he has already done that. He's already said he's not attracted to her. He's already pointed a finger at her and said, that what can you do to make me attracted to you? So I feel like Mindy's taking on so much of the responsibility to keep this whole thing afloat, almost to the point where she does not want to do anything that would, again, rock the boat or deflate their life jackets. Because right now they need life vests. It almost seems like she interprets her being demanding of the things that she deserves as a possible pin to deflate the life jackets that they have now the necessity of. I think that's an absolutely sad place to be. But Mindy, girl, you need to really think more of yourself. You need to think more of yourself and demand more for yourself. So then we see Dr. Cal meeting with Zach. Dr. Cal's basically like, look, you've been like a trash husband this entire experiment. You're not doing even the bare minimum of living with her. Like, these are basic things. This is what married people do. You knew what it was when you signed up. Don't play these games with me. And you can tell Dr. Cal is about it. You can tell he's trying so hard to keep his, pastor collar, nice and tight. But the way he was looking at that, Dr. Cal is not having it with Zach and his nonsense because that's what it is, nonsense. So Pastor Cal's like, look, are you moving in or not? And Zach's like, well, I would like to figure out what exactly it's going to look like for me to move in with her. What it's going to look like is you take the things in your apartment, pack them up, and then move them to the apartment that you're supposed to be sharing with your wife. That's what it looks like. Finally, Zach and Mindy meet with one another and they share what they shared with Dr. Cal or Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana. Mindy shares her expectations with Zach. And I was ready to laugh out loud because I already knew Zach was not going to be with it. So she's like, I told Dr. Viviana, I need this, and this from you. She was like, I need to see those text messages between you and Lindsay. He's like, well, I deleted them. And I'm just like, yo, that right there would have been like, oh, that's it. You can leave now. We're done. Because in my head, I'm like, what do you mean you deleted those text messages? Are you like, no. You're hiding something from me. I don't care what it is. At this point, it doesn't even matter what it is. The fact that you did this, how many weeks into our marriage, I cannot trust you. I do not trust you. And I refuse to move forward with you. But anyway, she continues to go down her list and he agrees, okay, we can do that. Okay, we can do that. Then she gets to, and I need you to move in. And he says, well, look, let's pump the brakes there. And he's just like, look, my work schedule and then my sleep schedule and my wake schedule is just like a lot of scheduling and you're going to be pissed. And Mindy's like, what are you talking about? Like, do don't you think that it would make more sense for you to move in and we could figure things out rather than you just completely just staying away? Like, he's basically assigning blame to Mindy by saying, you're the reason why I'm not going to move in because I know that you're going to be upset with me just based on how I just live. This is just how I live, but I know that you won't get that. So in order to avoid a conflict, I'm not moving in to save our relationship. This man is truly like, and the type of mind games he plays will only work on a person like Mindy. I'm trying so hard to be respectful and kind because Mindy has been through a lot. I don't know. I don't know if that now shapes how she is in relationships. I'm sure it has an impact on how she is in relationships. So it's not lost to me why Mindy is accepting of so much crap, especially from somebody like Zach. Zach ain't even smooth with it. Like, he talks in circles. He makes no sense. He makes it abundantly clear and obvious and blatant that he ain't in it. So it's not even like he's like feeding you sweet nothings and showing up to your house with roses and flowers and like doing things to really mess with your minds to believe that, yo, he's showing me all these signs that he's in it, he's with it, but then when it comes to moving in, he's not moving in. When it comes to, no, he's not even talking to you outside of filming. He's not even spending time with you outside of filming. So at this point, you're screwing with your own mind because he's being very clear as far as where he stands. But so it seems like they come to an agreement that he'll spend a night. So he packs his bag and he spends the night. So he comes through with his little dogs. I don't know their names, so I'm gonna call them Bubbles and Coco. He comes through with Bubbles and Coco, and they come running in. They are so happy to see Mindy. They love Mindy. Those dogs love Mindy. And Mindy is so excited to have Zach over. She is so excited that he's spending the night. She orders wings. We go to a flashback where he shared with Mindy that wings is his favorite like junk food snack, unhealthy snack. So she orders wings for them, and Zach's like, this is cool. This is nice. And they get to unpacking Zach's backpack. Not his bag, so his backpack. And Zach's like, oh, I want to see this bag full of nothing? Just kidding. No, but your bag definitely was full of nothing. Because he comes out talking about, I have a sock. And drawers. Only one pair though. Don't get too hyped. Ooh, look at these great sweats too. I'm gonna lay them out. And Mindy is like, oh wow, yeah, those are cute. I like those sweats. I could actually buy them. And I'm like, Mindy, look at what this man is doing right now. You told him your requirement is to move in with you. And he really tried to pacify you with a sleepover. And she's excited that her husband is sleeping over. So she's taking all his stuff and she's putting them in the drawers. She's like, okay, so what's next? What else? What else do you have in the bag? She's like, is this it? This is all you brought? Yes, Mindy, that is all he brought. Because he has absolutely no intentions of staying beyond this one night with you. And something in my blood, in my veins, something internally just told me that this man is gonna pull some BS with this girl. Either he's gonna say, oh, look at the time, my boy's calling me, I have to go and take care of this emergency. Or something is gonna happen that will not allow him to spend the night truly in the way that Mindy thinks that they're gonna spend the night with one another. And sure enough, they do their nightly routines, washing their faces, brushing their teeth, and Mindy's like, all right, are you ready for bed? And Zach's like, so, yeah, I'm gonna stay in the spare bedroom, and, yeah, good night. And Mindy's face went from to so quick. And I was like, I don't want to laugh, but this is actually hilarious. This is hilarious because if nothing else, throughout this whole 5 weeks of knowing this man, being married to this man, have shown you who he is and where he stands when it comes to you and him and y'all relationship, If nothing else proved to you that he is not about you, he is not here for you, he does not have your best interest at heart, he is not trying to stay married with you and committed to you, if nothing else showed you that, that moment right there should have been the moment where you told him, you know what, on second thought, I think it's best that you leave. I told you I need you to move in, and you're trying to pacify me with the slumber party. And at that, you're not even spending the night with me. You're spending the night in another room. At this point, I feel like disrespected. You're completely disregarding me. You're completely disregarding everything that I've asked you to do. I've been totally open and understanding and accommodating of all of your needs. And the one thing that I need for you to do for this marriage and for us, you can't do? Nah, take your pair of socks. Take your drawer. Take down your sweatpants and go. Because But Mindy is just sitting there in her bed. She's just like this, looking at the door closed in her face. Zach literally closed the door to her. Like, if that is not symbolic of what has happened in this relationship, I don't know what else is. Mindy's just sitting there, laying there by herself, looking across the hall at the door closed. As my mother always says to me, a word is enough for the wise. Mindy, you have received enough advice. Dr. Viviana even tried to get you to stand on your 2 feet and really stand firm in your asks, in your necessities, in your non-negotiables, yet you continue to accept the bare minimum from this man. So that's what you're going to keep getting. And I do not feel bad for you anymore. I think this right here is where I stopped feeling bad. The moment he even said to you, I deleted the text messages, and you're like, oh, okay. What? No. So at the end of the day, all these couples already said that they've recommitted to one another. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I think Austin and Jessica, cool. Derek, cool. Katie, don't buy it. Brandon and Taylor, absolutely don't buy it. Mika and Michael, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that they both want to be married to each other. I don't know. I highly doubt it. I don't know what it is, but this is too much. Because this episode was 2 hours of nothing. And a lot of episodes in the past have been 2 hours of nothing. But whatever, I'm still watching, still gonna review it. If you've gotten this far in the video and you have not subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Actually, let me do like Pastor Cal. If we've gotten this far in the video and you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of my latest uploads. I upload videos based on not just Married at First Sight, but I also do fashion, styling, some faith videos, some life videos. I just do videos. I be doing videos, and I'm gonna be a little bit more consistent, especially since we essentially can't do much else. Most of us ain't working, most of us locked down, so I'm definitely gonna have a little bit more content. And stay tuned, because the next video that I upload after this is gonna be a fun one. I'm excited about it. That's all I'll say. But just stay tuned for my next video. And share with your friends. Comment in the comment section down below. I do want to start a dialogue with y'all. Like, I love interacting with y'all. So leave a comment, even if it has nothing to do with the video at all. Even if you just want to say, look, I had a beautiful day today. Let's talk. Let's talk down in the comment section. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram for my fashion and styling. And last but not least, my website is thedebbioshow.com, where I blog all of my thoughts on fashion, styling, and life and faith and everything in between. That was a mouthful. Well, that was the end of this video. Until next time.